people, sometimes we in fact do have to take no for an answer. Hey, I'm Father Mark Mary with the Franciscan Friars of the Renewal, and this is Ascension Presents. We're going to talk about, it's an invitation to look at a little disease that we might all have. And I see this most clearly manifest and in its kind of fullest expression in some of our pro-life work. The friars, we're deeply committed. It's an essential component of our life to be pro-life and to have a public and prayerful witness, particularly for the protection of the unborn, while we have this kind of consistent life ethic trying to help across the board. And so we're involved with a lot of different things. But one of the things that we do is, particularly on Saturdays, particularly on first Saturdays, we have this larger pro-life procession and vigil from a church to a Planned Parenthood down in Manhattan. There's a group of anti-protesters, pro-choice, pro-abortion folks that come out. And it's just it's very ugly, right? It's very ugly, very vulgar, very angry. There's the most concrete and explicit blasphemies towards God and his church that I've ever come across. There's just this, if you will, like a sickness, which is just coming out and manifesting, and the symptoms of it are very tough to be around. But what's going on there? What's under there? What's going on with the pro-choice movement, and why is there towards the pro-life folks and towards what we stand for, why is there this anger, right? And at the bottom, at the end of the day, it's there's a movement of people, and they want to be able to do ultimately what they want when they want. They want to be able to do what they want when they want, particularly in the area of sexuality. And then because they want to be able to have sex without consequences, right? They want to be able to abort a child at any point in time. Right? So it's absolute freedom to do what I want, when I want, and to feel how I want to feel about it, and to not have anyone tell me it's wrong and that I should feel bad about it, right? So that's ultimately what I would say is the underlying, if you will, disease, which when it is kind of able to kind of flourish and really sort of spread and really kind of mature, it leads to this pro-choice, pro-abortion stance, and this real anger, especially towards those who are trying to speak truth in the situation and say, no, in fact, human freedom and human dignity does not mean absolute license to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and to feel however I want about it in the area of sexuality, nor in the area towards another human being in this circumstance, an unborn, preborn human being. But if I'm honest, I have to make sure that I check myself to make sure I don't have this same spirit and the same movement of my heart and my will in other areas of life. For the most part, those who are here watching Ascension Presents, those who are here watching this video, we're generally going to be on the same page, I think, in most of the areas of sexuality, in most of the areas of towards protecting the unborn, right? But still, if we're honest, we may struggle when someone tries to tell us no. When someone tries to say, okay, yes, I understand that you like this thing, but in fact, this thing is not good for you. Or in fact, this thing is not morally good. And when someone tries to speak truth into that, or tries to say no, we can have a similar movement of anger and rebellion towards the person, towards the position, towards the authority saying this to us. And we just, as disciples of Jesus Christ, as those who are members of the church and those who are called to obedience and to being shepherded, we in fact have to admit that we don't always like what's good, or what's best, that we have the capacity to really and to want things that are not good. And sometimes we need to take no as an answer. We're not islands. We belong to a greater community. And sometimes what I like or what I want or how I like something or how I want something isn't at the service of the greater good or of the community. And so as a member of the church, as a member of this broader human family, sometimes I need to take no for an answer. Sometimes I need to submit my preferences for the greater good, right? And I see this in myself. And, luckily I've had the grace of 13 years of religious life, and part of the dynamics of the closeness of our community life and the nature of it is I have an opportunity to be told no, at least sort of implicitly all the time. And hopefully I'm working on it. But certainly there's still areas of my life. If you try and take something away from me, I'm going to have this movement of rebellion and pushing back. And so we just have to, like, I don't want to get too much into the specifics of it, but I've just seen, like, whenever pastors tend to try and say, okay, hey, we need to put this on pause, or we need you to know, like, this thing that you really like, and maybe you've liked it for a long time, like, it's in fact not good. And again, our response to that is often either anger or ignoring it. And that's just not in accord with the dignity of Christians. That's not in the dignity, in accord with the dignity of those who are called to be shepherded. And so we see this in areas of like entertainment. Perhaps there's an entertainer or a type of entertainment or a type of show that's like, yeah, you like it, but it's problematic and it's not good for you and it's not good for the greater good. Like, are you open? Are you open to being told, like, hey, like you need to stop? It can happen in the area of even sports or athletics. Maybe there's a sport out there that's like, just for the athletes to do it, and what's going on there. Like, it's not in accord with human dignity and it's not in accord with Christian principles. And like our lady, like, does not like it, like, at all. Can you take no for an answer? Can you be told, can you step away from it? Can you be like, no, okay, this isn't good. Like, I like it, but it's not good. Can that happen? Maybe there's some sort of activity or performance where you're putting yourself in danger and you like doing it, but it's just like, you don't have a right to that. Can you take no for an answer? Maybe it's a liturgical preference or something that you really like liturgically, but your pastors are asking you not to do it. Can you take no for an answer, or do you respond with anger, aggression, rebellion? We need to look. We are made of the same humanity as everybody else. And we all can have some of this, like this pride and this, I will not serve and I will not take no for an answer spirit. And we just really, really, really need to allow grace to speak into it. And we need to reflect upon it. We need to recognize it in ourselves. And we need, again, to understand that, like, I will take no for an answer. I will serve. I will be shepherded are all dispositions of the Christian. And so this is just kind of part of the conversation. Whenever I've seen someone trying to say, like, the really, really good Catholics and faithful people, often it's like, you can't do that. Anger, aggression, rebellion, like, that ain't it, folks. That just ain't it. So let's do a little bit of examine. Let's allow the Lord the grace to illumine and enlighten and renew us where there's a space for conversion. And let's keep going on the journey. Remember, my friends, we are pilgrims on this earth. Somos peregrinos poco a poco, little by little. Vamos a llegar. We're going to make it. God bless y'all.